dealing with China. Needham went to China. I mean, he's got his PhD, in Cambridge and all this stuff, and he's loaded, and he's a professor and all this stuff. And back in 1945, he went to China. Well, he went to China probably by 1943. Winston Churchill sent him to China, to deal with some of the school problems there and all that. And the Japanese were bumming the cities and all this stuff, and so he was able to pull a lot of books out and all this stuff. And everybody at that time said the Muslims were backwards and ignorant and stupid and all this stuff. But after 23 volumes of the science and civilization in China, which China was primarily Muslim, Buddhist and Muslim, and Maoist and Buddhist together, depending on what part of the country you go to and all this stuff, but primarily Muslim, was the greatest scientific minds of the day. And this is a pre-Renaissance. And a lot of people believe that while the Europeans were still in the in the Dark Ages and all that kind of stuff, algebra and all this stuff, come out of Algeria or some, Muslim countries and all that stuff, and a lot of the mathematics and a lot of calculus and all this stuff. And of course we understand that the science of China, and that's Asia. That's all of Asia, so Asia Minor, all the way down to Vietnam, all the way back up to India, and all the way back up in Turkey and all the rest of these places here, where Russia, you go all the way down and around. A lot of this stuff in those days, here again, in this time frame, all of the science, well, almost all the science is coming out of the Asian countries. And of course he made the statement that, well, since they are so smart, then why aren't they smart now? Or why aren't they in the middle of all the scientific material that's going on today? And this is a question, and sometimes they call this the Needham guy that wrote this book, a Needham question. Why didn't the Chinese, since they are so smart, and of course the Chinese, the Arabs, the Muslims, invented paper, gunpowder, sailing boats, the magnetic compass, printing press. It's all kinds of stuff. In this book, this runs 1,000 pages, something like that, whatever. And there's 23 of them, 24, and they're still writing the books. Needham is dead, but they're still, the Needham Society is still cranking these books out of all the science that came out of China. And in my work, The Water Shoes, is coming out of the same book. They say people couldn't walk on water, and even if you got some kind of water shoe, it's something to laugh at. And the science have always laughed at that, but we found the evidence that the Chinese were walking on water 2,000 years ago, and we found all that. Now the second book we're gonna, we'll come back, and then we'll look at this second book.